All right, today is day 26 of SQL, but this is part 2 because I decided that I wanted to use the like operator and the not in operator in this book database thing that I just did instead of doing it tomorrow. So again, the context is that I have a database of books that I want to read and I can't decide on which ones to buy, right, to read. And so I decided to look into a person that I admire and look at their favorite books. And if their favorite books end up being in my database of books that I want to buy, then those are the books that I'm going to buy. So I did that by using a subquery. So I'll read it from the inside out. So the first condition is that the titles have to be inside the database faves, right? So it has to be inside the database that is the favorite books of that person. And then I'm using my own query, right, where the titles found here have to be inside my column, right, title, in my database, right? And so in other words, it's saying, okay, the titles in my database, like select the titles in my database only if they are found in the person's favorite books database. And so that came out and it outputted this title output, and it turns out Red Queen and the Inheritance Games are the books that I'm going to basically buy because they're both inside the book database that I want to read, right? So they're both books that I want to read and also the person's favorite books. Okay, so that was kind of the deal. And now I want to kind of practice, let me see, I did the notes. I want to practice the not in and the like operator. So not in is pretty easy. Maybe I don't want to read any of the books that are in that person's favorites. Maybe I don't like the person's taste in books, and so I don't want to read any books that are that person's favorites. And so all I have to do is just write not in. And now turns out that I can just read 84 Charing Crossroad because it's the only book that's not in that person's favorites, right? Out of my books, right? So that's that. And then the other one, let me go ahead and just paste that in there. All right, and then the other one is the like operator. And this is, maybe I'll add something more. I'll add like a reason why that person's, I don't know, has a favorite book. So let me do reason and then I'll do text. And so I'll put in the reason over here. So I'll do, let me see. I like the characters. That's not how you spell characters. All right, so maybe that's one reason. And there could also be, the second reason could be I don't know, I'll like the characters here also, and then over here I'll put in I like mystery. All right, let me see, what am I missing here? I like the characters, blah blah blah. 2 values for 1 column. Where? There isn't 1 column, I just added another one. Was that not clear? Reasons, oh, there we go. Reason, I have to add it here also because it's mandatory, so let me do that real quick. All right, now I can clearly see that that person has reasons for the books that they like. So if I want to kind of change what I'm thinking, so maybe I only want to buy the books from my database if they appear in that person's favorites, and the reason for that person liking that book has to deal with mystery or maybe characters. Mystery. Yeah, I'll do mystery. Or maybe characters. I can't decide. Mystery. I'll do mystery. Okay. So all I have to do in this case is kind of just copy this one and paste that in there. And then delete this. Or maybe not delete it. But I could do and where reason is equal to, or reason is like, let's see if that's gonna work. Oops, I can't even see my code anymore. Let me shrink this. It's not letting me shrink. Okay, there we go. Is like, and I believe you have to do percent signs, and then inside I'll do like mystery. That's not how you spell mystery. Mystery. Alright, so let me see what I did wrong. What could I use here? Reason like. That's exactly what I did though. Oops, wrong thing. Alright. So select the title from books where inside the title is the titles of the fave. Oh, it's where. There we go. Okay, so I just have to delete that and because it's not an and condition. It's just a where condition. My bad. But okay, so this is the output. So the inheritance games basically is the only book, right, where I can buy that both in my database that I want to read and I want to buy, and also in the person's favorites. And the reason that the person liked it is for mystery purposes. And like is an operator that basically, in comparison to like equal, I could have done where reason is equal to, if I did reason equal to mystery, it wouldn't work because it's looking for an exact match. And so I would have had to just literally copy this and paste that, and then I would have gotten the inheritance games. But if that changed, like Pamela said in the video, if that were to change, then if this reason were to change, and it would have been like, I like mystery, and I don't know, scary stuff, then this code is invalid and outdated, right? And so I just want it to be anytime it mentions something like mystery, right, where mystery is in there somewhere in the sentence, that that book may be outputted towards me, right? And so that's why I don't use the equal sign and we use the like, because like provides an option where I can just get an inexact match. The only condition is that I have to put in percent signs, right, between, or actually in the beginning and at the end. So that works out that way. So I have to kind of like sum things up. The first one, I just basically selected the titles from my database that were found in her favorite books database. The second one, I selected the titles in my database that were not found in her favorites. And then the last one is where I selected the titles in my database where inside the title in her database were her favorites, and the reason that it was her favorite was because of something dealing to do or having to do with mystery. If I change this to characters, then I believe I would get Red Queen, right? Characters. Oops, that's not useful. Characters. Right. So I got Red Queen, right? Because Red Queen is a book that's in her both in her favorites and in my database that I want to buy, and it's also containing the reasoning of something about characters. But notice the Hunger Games doesn't pop out because that book is not in my database. I'm not interested in it. So that's just an example. But yeah. So let me just copy this, change that back to how it was to mystery, and paste that in here. And that's pretty much all I kind of wanted to review because I realized I didn't review like the other two operators that were presented here. Okay, I did everything. All right then. Bye.